Okay, folks, this is not so much an update as just a pointer regarding the RepRap Prusa Mendel build instructions. First, this is what is referred to as the Prusa Mendel. Yeah, I believe one of the chaps that designed this particular model, his surname or first name was called Prusa. I don't know the guy, but he's been on some of the chat rooms, I think. Anyway, that's just a side note. That's not what I'm wanting to talk about this morning. So this is called the Prusa Mendel, this model, for whatever reason. That's what it's called. But this is specifically the iteration 2, or the second model of that line of machines. Now, I've downloaded the build instructions as I've shown to you previously, and I'll just show you what I'm referring to. This is the Wade's geared extruder. That's not what I'm wanting to show you right now. This here is the Prusa Mendel visual instructions. Now, I have found one or two inconsistencies in it in the past, but it is being, well, I don't think this is revised any longer, but back in 2010 this was being sort of revised fairly regularly, I believe. I wasn't aware of its existence back then. Now, here it basically shows you that you have a board this size, and then that board is mounted on a larger board. Yeah. Then the whole assembly then mounts on your two rails here. Yeah. Now, if you look, it's clearly showing that those rails mount underneath the threaded bar. Okay, and that is what I've done, right? You've got the rail there and the rail there mounted underneath the threaded bar. Now, what I've done isn't wrong, okay? But what that means is, currently I'm maximizing the travel on the z-axis, right? When it's fully assembled, the z-axis has the maximum amount of travel available for this particular model. Okay, I don't have a figure for you, I haven't actually measured it, but it is what it is. However, if you imagine the large square board then mounted to the top of this, and then on top of that you have your heat plate. Well, you can plainly see that even now the small board is interfering with the bearing or the belt guides. The board that mounts on top of that, it's going to be even wider. So with the board back here, this board, the top board is then going to overhang there and also interfere with that. Whether or not the heat bed itself then because it's going to be mounted on springs so that you can adjust it to get it perfectly level. Whether or not that will interfere remains to be seen, but both the bottom plates will interfere with this, both the bottom plates will interfere with this belt guide, which means that's going to reduce your travel on the y-axis. I'm taking that as being the x, so that should be the y. You know, we were taught x, hold on, x, y and z. That was the way we were taught to remember it in our CAD class. So, what to do, I've got a couple of options. I like the fact that the rods are underneath here, because to my mind at least they'll be more secure in that orientation. You know, there's less, I know it's pinched up with these nuts anyway, but there'll be less likelihood of movement, I think. But that leaves me with the problem then of how do I raise, or how do I alter these boards so that they don't interfere with that. I could maybe cut a bit out here possibly, you know, so I get the full travel. That's not going to affect the operation of your heat plate, which will then hopefully be high enough to avoid this. So that's definitely an option. One solution I've noticed online is, quite simply, instead of having it mounted underneath, is mounted above, right? So these little wee U-clips rotate round and the rod then comes in above it. And then with the board then, that, well, it's a significant distance, that, you know, that's at the moment from the centre of the rod to the centre of your I'm just taking a rough measurement here, is about, it's at least 10 millimeters, so if you, the outside of the rod, this is 14 millimeters maybe, you know, something like that. So that's going to raise it by something like 28 to 30 millimeters. But, you know, because then, in fact more than that, because you got this distance here also, you know, everything's going to be lifted by a significant amount, and that's what I've noticed on a video. And then you have none of these interference issues, but you're losing some of the Z travel, yeah. So I'm not going to talk about that anymore now. That's going to be it for today. It's Sunday afternoon now, I guess. I'm not in any sort of mind to do anything like this today. I'm just sort of going to chill out. But I thought you might be interested in that small experience I've encountered. You know, if you're going to build one yourself, it might help you redesign or alter your build process. It's not a big thing. Cut a bit out of your base plate and you're good to go. So without further ado, folks, I'll say cheerio, and hopefully my parts I'm waiting for will arrive soon, and then I can start cracking on. I have started investigating the electronics now. I'm thinking I might go with the ramps system. The ramps is the electronic control board that the printer uses. There's a Sanguino, and there's also there's over 20 different versions of the control board alone. So I'm not going to go into that right now. I'll leave that for another video. So yeah, thanks for listening and catch you soon.